Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Carlitos Way. Please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. So today's topic is going to be about gun rights. Okay, so a little bit of a history lesson, and I'll try to speak to the best of my knowledge. I don't remember everything, I don't know everything, so please bear with me, okay? So, gun rights come from the Second Amendment on the principle that everyone has the right to bear arms in the United States. Right. So where did that principle come from? How did it get formed? Okay, so it came from basically that the British were, when they were invading the colonial America, that they had that in order to protect themselves from the governments, which is Great Britain, people had the right to have their own firearms. So the government cannot impose their powerful force on them. Right? But then that kind of sort of turned into like a sort of constitutional amendment for anyone to right to bear arms in the case of self-defense, or in the case of the military tries to overassert its power. Like I say, if a cop comes in and they think they can do whatever they want because they're a cop and they can just, the government said to do this, therefore I'm right. No, here's my gun, get out of my house, you have no warranty, boss. Right? That's basically what it is. Now, these days, yes, there is a lot of gun violence. There is a lot of gun mass shootings, without a doubt, in the United States. Now, however, a lot of people think that by solving this problem is to take away big, massive guns like AKs, big machine gun rifles. Obviously, I understand where the Democrats are coming, where some people are coming with this. Like, you don't need those kind of guns, which, fair point. It's fair point, But if someone likes to have guns, then that's their preference, that they can have it, sure. The principle says that everyone has the right to bear arms. It means any gun. So basically, and just like Joe Biden said, the no amendment is absolute. Well, who is he to say that his interpretation, it's just as valid or invalid as anybody else's interpretation? You see, that's the problem by saying it's not absolute. So if it's absolute, that means that the principle says that any gun, that anyone can own any gun, if it's supposed to be absolute, that anyone has the right to bear any arm. Because when you're using arms, right to bear arms, you're saying any arm, any gun. So basically, like I said before, the Democrats think, the left thinks they can solve this gun mass shooting problem by taking away their guns. But that becomes problematic too, because if they take away your guns, one, they're taking away your rights to bear arms. And two, if it comes down to the point where the government becomes too powerful, too big, and they try to be like Nazis, where they took people's guns, they stripped them of their rights, and that's how they were be able to get more powerful, because they took away the founding principles. They put themselves above the principle. Well, they destroyed the principle and put themselves above and said, we're right in what we're doing because we know we so-called know better than you. Right? Now, my point is on this is that I'm going to take this rather a little bit of a different route. I'm going to argue that gun rights is not, I'm not arguing about the principle of the Second Amendment. I'm gonna argue as to what leads someone to do those kind of acts, right? Okay, gun mass shooting person, right? Oh, I'm resentful. No one loves me, so I'm gonna go shoot a school in Texas, for example. Some guy goes and shoots up an elementary school in Texas. This happened recently, right? And kills like 17 kids and a few adults. First of all, what do those kids ever do to you? Nothing. This guy probably had some serious issues going on in here and in feelings that caused him to do that. So the issue isn't, because if he didn't have those issues, then he wouldn't have shot those people. So the issue's in here. Not just in here. Right? So let's put that into the equation. Right? And basically, that's one of my arguments, right? No one ever a lot of people don't really like to talk about that. Why? Because it gets all personal. You don't know what the person's going through. Yeah, that's exactly my point. I don't know what the person's going through. But that doesn't give him a right to go over and shoot people. Why? Because it's wrong. Murder is wrong, period. Taking the way of life of another person for vengeance is wrong. That doesn't need to be debated. No one likes it when someone murders someone. Well, most people don't, unless if you're very arrogant and prideful. But that's a different point, right? So basically, gun rights, it's not just a legal issue, it's a moral one as well. Now, all of a sudden, these gun mass shootings happen when Joe Biden's in presidency. Why? So Joe Biden and the Democrats can play off as if they're the moral good ones and come across off as heroes because they think they're better than everybody. They're going to say, oh, look at a problem, and I'm going to fix this problem. By how? By taking away your rights for guns. Because sooner or later, they're going to over-assert their power on you. They are nicely taking away your rights by making it look like as if they're doing a moral good. That's what they're doing. They are doing that. It's funny that Joe Biden says that people should not have AKs when he is surrounded by military people with AKs. So he can be protected. Why? Because, yes, there are crazy people out there that would attack Joe Biden or would attack any president, as a matter of fact. Whether you're Joe Biden, Trump, George Bush, Barack Obama, sure, you're a president. You're an enemy of the world in a way. People envy you because of the power you have and the life you have because you're president of the United States. Sure, I get that point. But that is very hypocritical of Joe Biden for him to put, just because he's president, for him to put more rights for him to be surrounded by military people surrounded with guns, big time guns, so they can protect him. So why isn't the average Joe, the average guy, have the same standard as Joe Biden? Because violence is out here on the street too, right? There are crazy people out here too. It's not just attacking Joe Biden. It's a double standard. Now, another argument is that, oh, but look, if we take away guns, there's going to be less gun mass shootings. Well, duh. But here's another issue that goes back to my first point, that the problem is in here, in the heart and the mind. Because let's take a look at England, Great Britain. Violence and knife shooting and knife stabbing is high. They took a lot away of their guns. So they're still murdering and violence. People are mad. They're going to act it out. They're going to do it somehow. Doesn't have to be with guns. It can be with the knife. It can be with the freaking machete. It can be with their fists. Violence. The point is, it's anger. It's madness. That's all for this video, guys.